please direct your attention to center field for tonight's national anthem. Tonight's national anthem will be performed by Francesca Hall.
Good evening and welcome inside historic Breese Stevens Field for what we have in a beautiful match of soccer in front of us. It's the U.S. Open Cup. Andrew Banster here alongside Neil Cumming. Happy to have you joining us here on really a beautiful night. Couldn't ask for better weather tonight, Neil.
Oh no, it's absolutely gorgeous, bearing in mind what we've had over the last few months.
Yeah.
Looking forward to a good game. Interested to see how forward line up for this one. Bearing in mind that their targets have got to be the top 4 or top 5 to get into the playoffs. So, be interested to see how it goes.
Absolutely, and for this forward Madison team, coming in, obviously, this is not a USL 1 game. They've played 2 of those. They've drawn in both of them. Only 1 goal allowed so far this season. And here today, if you're forward, in a lot of ways, Neil, don't you got to think that, you get a big win here today against a team you should probably beat, just looking at it on paper, maybe sets you up well for the rest of the season.
Yeah, I think it's important to try and get a good performance in, especially going forward. It gives an opportunity for Matt Glazer to just try a couple of different players in different positions as well. As I say, they should expect to win the game, but these competitions throw up all kinds of different things.
And that's why we play each and every single one of them. Now, we know that if forward wins this game, or really whoever wins this game, they're awaiting an MLS team. And now that's a whole nother stage. You get it done tonight. If you're forward, how much kind of maybe excitement or an extra edge might that give you, knowing you can play against the top competition in America?
I think every player that's involved with the team will want to play against an MLS team. They'll be desperate to try and make sure that they win the game and give themselves a chance to show what they can do. Everyone wants to get better, everyone wants to improve, so it gives them an opportunity to do that.
Of course, you can't talk about forward Madison this season without bringing up Christian Cheney, who's really been electric for this forward team. I think everybody knew it was a pretty big signing coming in, and he's already lived up to expectations in a very short time frame. What are you looking out of him for tonight?
So to continue where he is at the moment, the goal that he scored was a really made out of something that he probably didn't think he would be able to do. He did a marvellous swivel on the ball and struck it past the keeper, which was really impressive. So he's looking to carry on doing those kind of things, but they've got to feed him. The rest of the team have to feed that ball into him if he's going to take chances like he did the other night.
Last question for you, Neil, before we get into the starting lineups. If you're forward Madison coming into this game, it's kind of you have both ends of the pendulum, right? You have the maybe playing an MLS team after this and also playing On paper, again, an inferior opponent. But again, that's why we play the games. If you're forward, what's your mindset going into this? Are you not messing around at all? Is it easier to be lackadaisical? What do you think?
No, they'll be determined to make sure they win the game. The kind of thing that you think about is how the opposition are going to line up against you. If the opposition want to come at you and they want to go at it, it'll be a difficult game for them. I think if Chicago decide to just sit back and try and stay in the game, I think that might be a problem for them.
And with that being said, we got about 2:27 left until we get this match underway. Let's get to starting lineups right here. We'll start off with the visiting Chicago House Athletic Club. Goalkeeper doing his job in the twine, it's Tony Haltman. After that, number 5, John Makowicz. Number 15, Naz Kabani. Number 4, make that number 2, Jack Kramer. Number 20, Aaron Nguyen. Number 99, Florian Waydor. Number 14, A.R. Smith. And manning the attacking side, you've got number 8, Shannon Seymour. Number 94, Damian Almazan. Number 10, Ricardo Avalos. And number 7, Adam Mann, who you were telling me before we got on air today, that's a guy that you might be a little bit familiar with.
I may well have coached against him back in the UK, which was a surprise when I saw him on the team sheet. I coached against his college that he came from. Whether he was there when I did that, I don't know.
And isn't it just crazy how small the world of sport can be sometimes?
Absolutely. I'd love to know when he was at Hartbury.
Now for forward Madison FC, doing his job in the twine, it's the keeper, Bert Shipman, last week's player of the week across the league. Number 5, Timmy Mell, starting the defenseman. Next, number 12, Sam Brotherton, followed by another player of the week, Jacob Kroll, wearing number 16 on his kit. After that, Robert Screen, number 2, Andrew Wheeler, number 28, Eric Connerty, number 8, Mauro Cicero, number 14, number 10, Jaden Onen, number 26, Tino Vasquez, and rounding out the lineup, the aforementioned number 9, Christian Cheney. And we're just about ready to get underway here at historic Breese Stevens Field, kicking off the third round in the final game, I should say the final game of the second round of the U.S. Open Cup here as your forward Madison FC play host to Chicago House Athletic Club. We are underway here at Breese Stevens. House starts with the ball. Forward does a nice job intercepting. Here's House trying to make a run at it. Work in the middle of the field. And there's Mitch Osmond with an interception. Gets it to Vasquez. Trying to move it into their zone, but House has numbers. And we've got our first stoppage of the game. What'd you see there, Neil?
It was just an offside call. I would think that it was Cheney offside as the ball was kicked.
And we're seeing here in the really early going, you see House coming out pretty hot, a lot of energy trying to move the ball down the field. Forward trying to set up their own selves. Back into the goal.
Andrew, I think it's important that forward keep possession of the ball. They should be able to do that against this team. And it looks like that's what they're trying to do, although it's difficult to see from here.
And we saw in their first couple of games, Neil, that this was a team who really did a good job of keeping possession. And like you said, here today, you'd expect that tenfold.
Yeah, I think if it looks like Chicago, if they get the chance, they're gonna come and push for it, which is should make for a great game.
Ball squeaks out of bounds, but it will remain in possession of Chicago House. Here comes the throw-in. Dancing around over on that end. Jacob Kroll gets a foot on it, sends it into forward side. And again, we see House here, Neil, just trying to push it and try to get something near that box if they can't maybe strike early.
Yeah, they're trying to get the ball into man. Obviously, he's a striker. He's the one that would hopefully be able to score for them.
Forward.
And they're looking to get it forward as quickly as they can, which is awesome.
Just how important is it for them, especially in a game where, you know, they'd probably not be picked to win, to get on top first, especially early?
If they can do it, that's would be massive for them. Dominate the other team would be a surprise, but yeah, if they can do it, it'd be good.
Another stoppage in play here. It's A.R. Smith, the captain of this Chicago House team, who was trying to sneak his way into a scoring position, but was called offsides. Here's Osmond. Trying to finagle their way down. Here's Robert's screen. Cheney with a touch. Vasquez working the sideline. Really your first time tonight if you're forward, where it looks like you have a real opportunity here to at least make some pressure.
And again, they're trying to keep control of the ball actually in the attacking third, which is something that I know Matt Glazer has been looking at.
And that's something we've seen, really. I mean, we saw it last year, but now adding a couple pieces this year, Neil. How excited are you about the newcomers to this forward roster, who really, we don't see a lot of returners at all from last year, just 4.
Yeah, I'm interested in watching Brotherton. I've seen Brotherton play at UW a number of years ago now, to see how he fits into this game. It's good to see him on the field. And also Jaden Onan, obviously is a fellow countryman as well, to see how he deals with the game over here.
House with possession. Florian Wador gives it away. Timmy Mel steals. The aforementioned Brotherton. Forward Madison trying to work it inside, deflected. What have you seen so far out of Chicago House? Obviously, didn't know really much about them coming into the game compared to forward, obviously. What do you see so far?
So they look quite organised. They're keeping the shape as well as they can. And obviously are looking to get forward as soon as they get the ball. Everything they're doing at the moment looks forward, which I think is probably going to be their best way of getting something out of this game. But yeah, definitely organised, definitely.
Forward trying to discombobulate that organization. Working inside, here's Cheney with the header! Just off the bar. And what an opportunity.
Great opportunity, and you'd expect Cheney actually to I don't know if he got it on target or if the keeper saved it. It was difficult to see from here, but yeah, good chance. They're using the width well, forward Madison. I know they do try and get the ball wide and get the crosses in as well, and they're working that really well.
First shot of the game for forward. As we hit the 6-minute mark, House with the ball. Forward patient defensively as House tries to finagle their way downfield. Jack Kramer trying to keep it in bounds. He does.
And again, looking forwards as soon as they have the chance. Seems to be the game plan for Matt Poland.
As the fans keep piling in here at Breese Stevens. Now, I know it's not the season opener, Neil, but I mean, in some ways it kind of is, right? The first home game.
First home game, yeah. Actually, as you say, the crowd's coming down. I'm not sure what the numbers will be, but it's not bad, not bad.
And for a non-USL 1 game, I just didn't even know what to expect. But to your point, I mean, pretty good numbers here tonight.
It is.
Scrapping in the center third. Brotherton retrieves. Jacob Kroll. Here's Brotherton again. Jaden Onan. Beautiful pass. We've got a chance here. But a nice deflection breaking it up there from Naz Kabani. Real opportunity there.
Yeah, good defending. Kabani, another fellow countryman of mine. Yeah, right position, right time. Looked like it got away from the striker and kind of made it a little bit easier for Kabani.
Here's Kabani. Florian Wador. House pleased to see they'll retain possession. Florian Wador. As some words are exchanged here. It didn't seem to be too aggressive, but there was some sort of discombobulation there between the two sides.
You'd expect that, to be fair.
It wouldn't be a match without it.
It wouldn't be a match without it. No, you're right.
Robert Screen. Forward seems comfortable back in their own defensive end.
To be fair, the Chicago aren't pressing high. They're retreating to give a different line of contact. And Madison definitely looking to get it wide. If you look at Screen to the right here.
Yeah, you can just see him. He keeps creeping in, trying to get that angle. And here's Burnt Shipman. He's content holding the ball. Now he'll let one go. Robert Screen.
Great turn by Onan.
Jaden Onan with the pass. We've got a chance, but it's taken away. Offside the call. What'd you see there? Close, huh?
Great turn. Probably just went a little bit early. It didn't look like the Chicago defense stepped up, so just probably went a little bit early.
House. And forward Madison right back to the keeper. Touch pass here. Working his way near the box, but deflected now. That'll be a corner for Chicago. First one we've seen in this match.
So this will be interesting because Chicago's goal in the last round was from a corner. And Madison, the only goal they've conceded this year was from a corner.
So this would be maybe...
So it'd be interesting to see how they deal with this.
A strength meeting a weakness here.
Could be.
Forward Madison hoping it's not. The corner on its way. Breaking its way in. The header just offline. It was Naz Kabani who got his dome on that. But it goes out of bounds, and forward Madison will charge their way down the field, or try to, Neil.
Yeah, I'd be a little concerned. It looked like he had a free header in there. I'm sure that's something that the coaching staff will look at.
That ball aimed for Cheney. A mad scramble here, but unable to come up with it. Here's Aaron Nguyen. Nguyen to Florian Wador. Intercepted by forward Madison.
again.
A couple times we've seen that already here in this match as we near the 13-minute mark.
So it's interesting to see, Andrew, that forward have changed to a back four for this game, whereas the two games they've played in the league so far, they've gone with a back three. It'd be interesting to find out what the reason was for that from Matt, if we can.
Absolutely. You know, he told us coming into this game that we talked a little bit pre-game about how you kind of come into a match like this. Coach Matt was pretty clear that his team is looking to win this game and they're not coming in messing around. Cheney. And back into the hands of Tony Haltman, who mans the twine tonight for Chicago House AC. Final game of the second round here in the U.S. Open Cup. Forward Madison FC playing host to Chicago House AC. As finally here, the flock really getting into it here.
They're great. And Peter Wilt, obviously, who's with Chicago House now, is a big influence of that when the forward started.
Neil, can you give us some context and some background on just how important he was to just really everything, not just for forward, but for Chicago House too?
Yeah, I mean, when the forward were first thought of, he was part of that process. Huge in promoting the teams. I remember going to a launch of the uniforms, or the kit, as I would call it, that they wear. He was there in his pink, just letting everyone know that forward Madison was coming. He did a great job, and I know he recruited people to kind of get going with the flock. So, yeah, huge part of this, huge part of what is here now. He must be very proud to come back here with Chicago House.
And now, of course, he is doing so much with Chicago House, and to your point, I mean, what a coming together moment.
Yeah.
Got to kind of blink a couple times to get past that.
So again, forward Madison holding the width on the far side, the ball this side, which is obviously a game plan for them.
And they keep stretching that field.
Stretching it, making space. Really important in the game.
Cheney. He and Florian Wador have been dancing and scrapping all night long. Trying to establish dominance here in the early going. A vocal forward club we've seen here so far doing a good job communicating with each other.
Yeah, you can, from this side of the field, obviously we can hear them much clearer than you would if you were in the stand. So lots and lots of talking going on in the game, which is important.
Especially, I would imagine, on the defensive end. As a coach, I mean, would that be something that you would contend? How important is that communication?
Yeah, certainly. Even with the young kids that we coach at the club, communication is one of the things that helps you to be able to defend against players, be able to attack players. It's a vital part of the game. I know that there are many nationalities in the forward team, so it'd be interesting to see how that works.
We get a yellow card here. I believe that goes against Jaden Onan. Shannon Seymour with the free kick. Right into the midst of Burnt Shipman. We got a blank slate here as we just get into the 18th minute. Cheney.
Cheney was the one that got the yellow card.
And it looked like the initial issue there started when Onan gave a shove. But I think, and just from this perspective, it looked like Cheney might have said something.
I think so, yeah. I think he probably did say something that the ref didn't like. Which is a silly yellow card to get.
It is, especially so early in the contest. Vasquez trying to retain the ball, but Naz Kabani. Here's Jaden Onan. Eric Connerty got a quick touch there. I haven't seen much of him, if at all, this year for forward Madison. Getting a shot here in the Open Cup. Talked about it a little bit in the pregame, how it might help the momentum of this season. Of course, no wins but no losses in the USL 1 league so far this year for forward Madison, who has a shot here. Here's Jaden Onan. Onan gets it in. Jaden Onan puts forward Madison on the board. What a beautiful play there.
Again, good control amongst the team, moving the ball around, created an opening for Onan to get in behind the defense, and he put it away really well.
And Onan had a couple of options there. It looked like just for a split second he was thinking of trying to pass across, but instead he takes it himself. And in the 18th minute, Jaden Onan puts one in the twine to put forward Madison on top, 1-0.
Yeah, Andrew, good goal. Was a good goal.
See the instant replay on the celebration there as Ford Madison flocks together, and now Chicago House working with a deficit.
So it'd be interesting to see whether that changes anything that House do. Interesting. I was just spotted Adam Mann there trying to just calm his players down, tell them not to react to anything they need to,
and just how
continue what they're doing.
Just how important is it, Neil, in these next 5 minutes after that first goal of the game?
Sorry, say that again, Andrew. Sorry, I was watching.
No, you're good. These next 5 minutes after that first goal of the game, just how important is that for both sides?
Obviously, forward are going to keep possession of the ball, carry on doing what they're doing there. I would say they've got the advantage at the moment, even before the goal went in. Just in their control of the game.
Robert's screen. Oof. Just wide.
And for Chicago, I think they want to get a bit of possession again, and see if they can put some balls in behind the Madison defense.
Here's Tony Haltman. Robert's screen intercepts. Timmy Mel working the corner. Mel works it upfield and a tangle ensues. It's Eric Connerty and Shannon Seymour going after it. Seymour checking to make sure Connerty's okay. Looked like they just got tangled up there a few times.
I think Seymour got a card as well. Referee indicating that he pulled him back.
And that's the first card against Chicago House here in this contest. Christian Cheney had a yellow card earlier. Working upfield. Cheney defends. Gets a foot on it.
Yellow card issued in the 22nd minute. Chicago House, Shannon Seymour. Yellow card.
Mel at midfield.
Seymour.
Vasquez gives chase but runs out of room. Talked about it in the open as well, but if you're watching from afar, you have no clue the weather that we're enjoying here tonight. Cheney intercepted. Neil, we had a foot of snow like 2 weeks ago. We got a 70-degree day today.
It is gorgeous today.
Connor T resets the offense. Feeding inside, but snagged by Holtman. A boot reaches midfield. Vasquez. And there's Robert Screen, who we brought up a couple times, not always for touching the ball, but for stretching the field. He's almost acting in some ways like he's kind of hiding a little bit of a decoy here at the end, stretching that field.
Some forwards, again, passing the ball around, keeping possession. Seem a little more confident now as well because they're in the lead. And of course the commentators mess because as soon as I say that,
that is the curse of the broadcast jinx. Just try to give a compliment and that's what happens. You know, for as much as, I talked in the open about maybe this being a potentially lopsided game and still very early in it, but Chicago House to this point, Neil, has really held their own.
Yeah, I think they've obviously got a game plan that they've come with, and they're trying to execute it.
Cheney fights, Nazkabani right in there. They exchange blows, but it goes out of bounds. Mauro Cicero, haven't said his name much tonight. And whereas in the early going, forward was content on their defensive end, Neil, we're seeing them a little bit more aggressive and really doing a good job keeping that possession time up as we continue in this match.
They're certainly keeping the ball better, and also they're moving that ball and keeping possession of it in the middle third. They need to now feed that into the front third the same way as they did to Onan to score the goal. So that's what they've been working on that. When we spoke to Coach Matt, he said that that's one of the things they've been working on. So it'll be interesting now they've got an opportunity to do just that.
And it seems like in some ways this evening, so far in the contest at least, really forwards' goal-scoring opportunities haven't come so much from an entire play, but more so a through pass that made its way.
Yeah, they're finding the gaps between the Chicago defense, and Onan is quick, Vasquez is quick, and Cheney can get on the end of those as well and finish. So if they can get those balls to the front three, I think there's more goals for them. And here we go.
Here is forward Madison, Jaden Onan. Timmy Mel. Trying to find that angle. And here we go, Eric Connerty. Looked like he maybe had a goal-scoring opportunity, but really good defense there. Robert screened the throw-in. Here's Cheney. Cheney just almost gets it in there. A header opportunity just missed.
Two players going each other's way. And that goes back down to that communication we were talking earlier. If one gives a big shout, then hopefully the other one gets out of the way. So another chance. And they'll keep coming, I think.
Not that we didn't expect it at all, Neil, but we've seen so far, at least defensively for Chicago House, a lot of attention, and rightfully so, on Christian Cheney.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, obviously he's going through now. It's taken two of their players to deal with him. So he's a top-class player. He'll cause them problems. He'll cause any defense problems, to be fair.
Here's Aaron Nguyen. Feeding in front. Intended for Damon Almazan, but out of bounds. Jacob Kroll, a nice lead pass, gets it back. And out. Approaching the 30-minute mark here at Breese Stevens Field. What have you seen so far from both teams, Neil?
So, forward Madison keeping possession, looking to build through the middle to feed the front three. Chicago House obviously looking to get the ball in behind the Madison defense to get man onto it. To be fair, Madison's defense has dealt with that pretty well. One of the things that could be a problem for them is just not getting pressure in the midfield from.
And a couple of really nice goal-scoring opportunities there deep inside the box, but good defense there from Chicago House.
Yeah, going back to what I was saying, just need to get pressure on the Chicago House player that gets the ball in the middle, because if they don't get pressure on, he can deliver it, whichever one of those midfield players gets it.
Robert Screen working upfield. Screen with speed. Gives to Vasquez. Vasquez nearly keeps it in bound, but it finds too much green. If you're wondering what that beautiful anthem you might hear in the background is, of course, that's the forward flock. Providing the best tunes in all of football. Maybe a little biased there, but hey.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Nevertheless, very true.
Yeah. Vasquez the header. Cheney. Dancing through. Screen takes it back. Forward trying to set up some offense. Just waiting on that right angle, Neil.
Yeah, they're moving the ball around, trying to get the opposition to lose the shape that they're in, and as soon as that happens, they'll get opportunities.
And how about that move from Jaden Onan? You brought up his speed a moment ago, but my goodness, can he move? Yet another exciting newcomer to this Forward Madison FC 2023 roster that returned just 4 players from 2022. One of those being Mitch Osmond, who is not playing this evening. Derek Gephardt, another big Forward Madison name that did not get the start here in this Open Cup match. Onan with the touch pass.
That's great play. And again, I think Cheney offside.
It appears as though Andrew Wheeler lost his shoe on that play. Kind of need that.
You do need that.
That one goal so far in this game scored by Forward Madison early in the contest. Did not get the start here in this Open Cup match. Back to the keeper, Shipman.
And again, Andrew, just keeping possession of the ball. It's hard work for opposition if the other team have got the ball. They have to work harder to get it back.
And Forward Madison doing a fantastic job of that. Those first 7 minutes or so felt like more of a playing out period, but Forward Madison settling into their own. Screen the header. Connerty has it knocked out of bounds. Try to set up the offense once more. Vasquez. Here's screen. Eric Connerty tells his teammates, take it slow, let's set up the offense. That's exactly what they do. Here's Cheney. Cheney the pass. Trying to feed it inside. Off target.
But again, getting the ball wide. Just the quality of the service at the end that didn't find one of the players in the middle.
Forward doing a good job keeping that pressure on. And it's a lonely, lonely feeling when you are on the opposition, such as Chicago now. We'll get to that in a moment. It's a lonely feeling when you don't touch the ball for a long time.
It is. You end up exerting more energy than you'd want to. And Madison are doing a really good job of keeping the ball.
Having their way with the time of possession to this point. Robert screened the pass.
Oh, that's a great play.
Here's Jaden Onen, the pass just off the mark, but another opportunity. Deflected and back into the box. Vasquez trying to get it inside, and it's to Cheney. Cheney deflected. And House will clear it out.
Chicago players has gone down.
And that is Richard Avalos, who is kneeling down in pain. Certainly the last thing you ever want to see in any match. (1-0) the score. Forward Madison on top of Chicago House AC. Let's take another look at that.
And they're doing a really good job of keeping the ball. Yeah, great ball wide.
Having their way with the time of possession to this point. Robert screened the pass.
Oh, that's a great play.
Here's Jaden Onen, the pass just off the mark, but another opportunity. Deflected and back into the box.
On the defender. Just couldn't find a player in the middle.
Playing for all the marbles here in the U.S. Open Cup, second round of it. Winner of this one gets Chicago Fire of the MLS.
I think Matt will be pleased. Coach Matt will be pleased with the way it's going at the moment. I think the missing part is the final third. Just making sure that they get on the end of opportunities like the one we've just seen.
And what's it going to take for Forward to really put some pressure onto that box?
I think they carry on doing what they're doing. They carry on moving the ball, getting it wide. They seem to be finding the channels to be able to pass the ball through beyond the Chicago defense. They keep doing that. The end product is the thing that decides games, and that's the goals. They need to score those goals when they have the opportunity.
We encroach into the 38th minute. Here's Jaden Onen. Forward having their way. Working it forward. Missed opportunity there. Screen. And Timmy Mel not on the same page. Florian Wador, the throw-in, said his name a lot today. He has been involved over and over again. Here's Cheney. Beautiful feed pass from Wheeler. Vasquez chasing, unable. And a nice job by Brotherton.
And again, Andrew, just Chicago there, just trying to get the ball forward as quickly as they can in behind the defence. They may need to come up with something else if they're going to actually get an opportunity to score.
We've talked about how forward seems very comfortable in the defensive end, even when Chicago's putting any pressure on them. A lot of times it seems as though they're pretty content with their game plan, and that may be that formation we talked about earlier.
Change to the back four. I think they, I think Chicago.
Here's Cheney trying to make some magic happen. The pass. Cicero with the left. Blocked. No dice for forward Madison, but another shot on goal. Andrew Banstra here, joined by Neil Cumming. Forward Madison FC playing host to Chicago House AC. They're on a beautiful Tuesday night. This game originally slated to take place last Tuesday. Not the best weather, but we'll take today's. Here's the corner. Try to get ahead on it, unable to. Good defense. You know, there's something about spring, the air,
I think
the feeling, the sport.
I think Chicago
having this happen right now for me really makes Cheney
feel like we've made it.
Trying to make some magic happen. The pass. See, now I'm going to cross my fingers.
Let's hope.
Yeah.
Let's hope.
I did hear that somebody said maybe snow on Sunday. We won't talk about that though. Let's enjoy this evening.
If there's any more snow, I'm going back to the UK.
I don't blame you. Here's Screen with the pass. Vasquez with an angle. Beautiful move. Feeds it off to Cheney, who gets tripped up.
He's risking another yellow card if that referee views that as a dive. To get another yellow card, he'd be sent off. That was interesting to see on the replay if we get a chance.
As expected, Cheney, Onan, really the focal point for Madison's offensive attack.
And again, a ball over the top of the defense.
And a goal-scoring opportunity just left. Good strike there from Adam Mann. Here's Screen with the pass. Vasquez with an angle. Beautiful move. Feeds it off to Cheney, who gets tripped up.
To get a goal in the game is to get that ball in between the space between the back line and the goalkeeper. And certainly Mann is quick enough to get on it.
Forward not really giving them the opportunity to set anything up on their offensive end. Like you said, they're going to have to squeak one through and hope they get the position.
And again, that comes back down to putting pressure on the player who's got the ball so that he can't actually deliver that pass. So there's two things in that. One, the back line needs to be aware of that's what they're looking to do. And also then the midfield or whoever's the closest player to the ball, make sure he gets pressure on that so that they can't do that.
Vasquez, here's Robert Screen, the cross, the attempt, and it's just off the top of the bar.
That should have been a goal. He should have scored that.
That was Mauro Cicero. And I agree, I thought that had a goal written all over it.
Yeah, plenty of time, he wasn't under pressure. Yeah, he should have scored.
Cicero with the missed opportunity keeps us at 1-0 as we approach halftime. Eric Connerty. Here's Cicero. Vasquez with some room. A running lane, and he'll just send one towards the twine. It's off the mark anyways and corralled by Tony Haltman.
So what you're starting to see now, Andrew, is the spaces are starting to open up because the house players are starting to feel the tired about chasing the ball all the way. Really? So there'll be spaces now for Onin and for Vasquez to get into.
Wear them out and then take those angles. Seems like the game plan.
If it is, it's working.
Chicago House. Trying to keep it where it's at or get on the board before we get into halftime, as that's the second time we've seen a ball make its way into the stands. Nice catch by the fan who just threw it right back in.
I think it was a foul throw.
I was thinking for myself, I mean, maybe try to keep that for a second. No, not him though. He's right back into the action. Chicago House trying to scramble here. A boot from forward Madison. Sends it towards Cheney and Onin. Here is Onin. Vasquez. Onin. Nice pass here. Here's Cicero. Nothing going. Looked like maybe Vasquez had a chance on that ricochet.
And again, came from space in the middle third, where the house players are starting to tire. That will continue.
Of course, we talked about it earlier. Chicago House AC, an amateur club in the Open Cup. Everybody's welcome. Seymour pushes it. Here's Damon Almazan. Almazan said he's dedicating this Open Cup game to his mother, who has breast cancer. The guy that's leaving it all out on the pitch here today. 2 minutes of extra time. A little bit into it already. Here's Onin. Wador pushes to Seymour. Damon Almazan trying to set something up. Pushing it in. Good defense from forward Madison. This time Sam Brotherton. Here's Timmy Mell. Mell keeping it cool. See if you can't get one more goal-scoring opportunity before half, or do you just keep it where it's at, Neil?
I think they keep possession, and if an opportunity comes, they'll look to take it. But they need to keep possession of the ball. They don't want to give Chicago any chance right now to get back into it.
Fighting to do just that, our forward Madison. Back and forth, back and forth. Here's Mauro Cicero. Feeds to Onin. Onin up front, but it's intercepted. And that will do it for the first half of action here in this second round of the U.S. Open Cup. The score, One for forward Madison. Came in the early going. Couple of opportunities so far for Chicago House. But as we've said, really well controlled to this point in the game by forward Madison.
Yeah, they've definitely controlled the game. Kept possession, moved it from side to side, which is awesome. I say the thing that Coach Matt will be wanting more from the team is just taking the chances when they come.
We'll see if they're able to do that when we return for the second half of action. For now, we'll step aside for just a moment. The score, forward Madison FC 1, Chicago House AC nothing. We will see you on the other end of this break.
Thank you. Hey, excuse me, are you ready? Can I order now? Yeah, okay. I will take a large quad, 2-shot macchiato, no sugar, 2 pumps of vanilla, half pump caramel, non-fat milk, and not too hot, please. Very little ice. Honey, I said just a second. Ow.
This is a Wisconsin Brewmaster. He brews the local craft beer. The beer that washes down the Oktoberfest broth. The broth that pairs with the potato salad. The potato salad that befriends the burger. The burger that tastes like victory. Festival Foods. We are Wisconsin.
For a warm and inviting space to grab a quick meal or gathering the whole family, come into Gooseberry on the Square. Our made-from-scratch fare that is delicious, satisfying, and healthy. Plus, we're serving up breakfast and lunch all day long. Be sure to stop in and craft the salad of your dreams at the largest salad bar on the Square, featuring 70 items and 2 homemade soups. Gooseberry on the Square, open 5 days a week from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Stop on in today.
As we enter this second half of action, here's your forward Madison FC, play host to the Chicago House. AC are on a beautiful Tuesday night in Madison, Wisconsin. 1-0 the score. Forward Madison on top. It was a Jaden Onen early goal that set the stage for this second half. What did we see in that first half, though, from both sides?
I think we saw forward doing what they needed to do, keep possession of the ball, create opportunities. I think Coach Matt will be happy with the way it's gone. I think he'll demand some better finishing, I think, and he'll look for that in the second half. I think for Chicago, they're still in this game. One of the beauties of being an underdog is that you have a chance and you can keep going, and one opportunity falls their way, then hopefully they can take it.
And you know, the interesting thing about it, to your point, because in a lot of ways it does feel like that, like Chicago House has kind of had their way. If they were going to tell them that's how the first half goes, I think they'd be all right with that. I
actually think both coaches will be kind of happy with the way it's gone. I think Chicago's still in the game. I think Coach Matt will be looking at their possession stats, but we'll want more in the final third, I think, in the second half from the group.
Forward Madison dominated the time of possession in that first half. There was a couple, and if you have to point out anything for forward, to your point, there was a couple of goal-scoring opportunities, specifically that one from Mario Cicero that seemed like a missed opportunity.
Yeah, I think it was. I mean, as I said at the time, I think he should have scored. He was unchallenged. The goal was there. The goalkeeper, it didn't look like the goalkeeper touched it, and he was probably within the 6-yard box. So yeah, he should have been a goal. He should have scored that.
And we're underway here in the second half. Forward Madison starts with the ball, and we've seen a lot of that throughout this game. Hustling, Connerty ahead to Jaden Onen. Still chasing it down, and Tony Haltman is able to fall on it. Couple of substitutions here. Some housekeeping to keep you occupied. First substitution, Shannon Seymour, who received a yellow card in that first half, has been subbed out in favor of number 9, Nico Williams. House working forward, and that's the other substitution. Christian Chaney checks out of this game. Probably the most lethal offensive weapon in terms of goal scoring that this Forward Madison club has. He checks out, and in comes Macias for the first time. Of course, we've seen him so far today. Aiden Macias, number 23 on the back of his pink uniform. Call it a kit. We talked a little bit about Peter Wilt in the first half. I think it's important to bring it up again. Of course, so integral to bringing Forward Madison to fruition. And now another team he's had such a pivotal role in, facing off here in Madison in this Open Cup. And that's one thing that I certainly wanted to talk about. Just how important and how unique is this Open Cup as an entire event, and how does it maybe compare to the FA Cup that you may be a little bit more favorable towards?
So I looked it up earlier. I didn't realise this competition's actually been around since 1913.
How about that?
Which for soccer in this country is a long time. It's the oldest competition in the US for soccer, which is awesome. How does it compare with the FA Cup? Obviously, the FA Cup is world renowned. I was fortunate enough to have coached in it in the early round, so similar to a Chicago House playing against some teams in the higher leagues. It was awesome for me, and something that I'm really proud to have been involved in. So I think the only kind of main difference is just the history. Just the history of the game in the UK, the fact that it's a world-known competition, whereas probably there's a lot of people that didn't even know that the Open Cup was started.
Here we got a goal-scoring opportunity, and it'll fall through the twine. What a shot there! A beautiful feed inside. And I believe it's Mauro Cicero, I beg your pardon, Aiden Macias right off the bench, putting it into the back of the net. Beg your pardon, that's Tito Vasquez. Putting it in the back of the net. Let's take a look at that.
Whereas probably there's a lot. So good hold-up play. Nice passing to going in. And
here we got a goal-scoring opportunity, and it'll fall through the twine. What a shot there! It almost seemed like Vasquez was surprised he was so wide open.
I think it's. I think the defender just didn't get a foot on it, which meant that it went through to him. So that was.
Here in the 48th minute, we get our second goal of the game. First one came from Jaden Onen back in the first 10 minutes of the game. 2-0 the score, forward Madison on top, and certainly a lot of time left in this game, Neil, as forward Madison makes another push. Had Onen on the run, but intercepted. Certainly a 1-0 deficit feels like a mountain to climb, but when you get to that 2 range, still 40 minutes left in the game, but it feels like a big mountain to climb.
Yeah, I think so for Chicago. I did notice when they first started, they were more energetic to get pressure on the ball.
Absolutely. And a nice chance here. Nobody in goal for Chicago House, but a nice job guarding that net.
Yeah, so Chicago were certainly more energetic to try and get the ball back. But again, the quality of the forward players to keep possession of the ball, even under pressure.
And we talked about it.
We'll give them the opportunity to get forward again, because the forward now, Chicago now going to have to try and do something to get back in the game, and that will leave spaces again for the front three for forward.
And to your point, Chicago House came out really hot. Towards the end of the first half, you had mentioned it looked like maybe they were losing a little bit of steam in terms of being able to keep their breath. Much needed break at half, but you're still seeing forwards certainly more fit in this contest, as you may have expected, but showing as the contest unfolds.
Yeah. So good, and again, that is, you'd expect that if someone's a professional team against a non-professional team, then the fitness levels will be higher. And certainly as this game goes on, I think the players from Chicago that have played the full period will become exhausted.
And to that point, can you kind of speak a little bit, Neil, to just how the formation of this cup in general works, right? You've got amateur professional, you've got high-level professional. Can you kind of break that down a little bit?
So yeah, the reality is that if you play adult soccer in the US, you can. I'm assuming that the amateur teams have to apply to go in. I'm sure they do, but you get an opportunity to possibly play as if Chicago House win this game, then playing Chicago Fire would be a huge thing for them. It would be a big thing for Madison if they win the game, to play against an MLS side. They played Minnesota last year, and again, the reality is that the MLS teams and the USL teams look to play probably their fringe players in these competitions, but I'm sure if they get closer to the final, you'll find they'll put out their strongest teams every time.
Speaking of those stronger players, we mentioned Christian Cheney exited after that first half in favor of Aiden Macias. It's
just changed the shape a little bit now. You've got Onen playing through the middle. You have Connaughton, who's now playing as one of the front three, with Vasquez as well.
And you like to see that from Eric Connaughton, a guy that hasn't gotten much tick so far in the young season, but to your point, in a game like this, you can bring out guys that may not get quite as much playing time, but what a valuable experience it is.
Yeah, and it's part of the bonding as well. I mean, as we mentioned earlier, they've only got 4 returners in the Forward Madison team, so there's that part of it as well. To be involved in the game, to create the bond that they need as they go forward.
Forward, back and forth. Just playing catch right now. Keeping it out of the possession of Chicago House AC. Here's Jacob Kroll. Kroll with the fancy footwork. And they'll clear it back out into the defensive end.
And already you're seeing Chicago House aren't as energetic as they were in the first few minutes to try and get back into the game. Now they're 2-0 down. It could be a long night for them.
Yeah, in those first 5 minutes, as we've got an opportunity here for Forward Madison. Cicero trying to sneak it in between the legs and does. Here's Jacob Kroll working the left side with the left, and it's just deflected. Can't find its way into that heavenly goal, and we'll stay at a 2-0 score, but what an opportunity.
Yeah, broke nicely for him, and to be fair, the goalkeeper's pulled out a good save, closed him down very quickly.
We've seen him creep off that line a couple times tonight already. That's Tony Haltman that made the save there. We've got a corner coming up for Forward Madison. Inbound. A little far, but the header puts it near goal and over the crossbar. You'd really like to see Forward Madison maybe have a better scoring opportunity off these set pieces.
I think, difficult to tell from here, but it looked like that maybe should have gone back in towards the middle rather than towards the goal. With the players that were crowded in the middle, you never know what could have happened.
Not a ton of set pieces from either side today. A lot of Forward Madison with the ball, which was their game plan. And in many ways, the more they continue to keep the ball, as Chicago House has it now, House is going to continue to get more and more fatigued. Forward Madison, though, up to the test. Very high percentage of passes completed today by Forward Madison.
It would be interesting to see those stats. To see how much they have had the possession of the ball. But of course, you've got to do something with it. You can't. There's no point in possessing it and not creating opportunities and taking them when they come.
Here's Vasquez pushing forward. Tony Haltman leaves the box to come snag it with his feet. Creeping into the 57th minute here at historic Breese Stevens Field. Andrew Banstra alongside Neil Cumming. Second round of the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup. Last game of it. Winner of this one heads to Chicago for a big match with the MLS, I should say. Chicago Fire. Working upfield's Jacob Kroll. Robert Screen with the header to keep it in bounds. Nice move here by Naz Kabani, who tries to sneak it through, but Timmy Mell said no way and stuck out that right leg. Here's a replay of that. Yeah, in those first 5 minutes, as we've got an opportunity here for Forward Madison. Opportunity earlier. Cicero trying to sneak it in between the legs and does. Here's Jacob Kroll working the left side with the left, and it's just
good save from the goalkeeper.
Nearly snuck in between those legs, but was able to corral it. Robert Screen on the far side of the field. Jaden Owen with a nice push ahead. And Naz Kabani will just allow it to exit the field of play.
Again, good possession from Madison, getting the ball wide, and a nice pass through, just not quite into Vasquez's run.
Forward seems content on the defensive end right now, really dominating this game in many facets. Chicago House looking to push forward, but a whistle. If this is your first Forward Madison match you're tuning into, we appreciate it. Or if it's your 1,000th, we appreciate it. Of course, Forward Madison rocking those pink kits. The only men's professional sports team in the U.S. to have pink as their primary color. Could also make the argument they're some of the, in my opinion, some of the coolest kits that you're going to find. But again, a little bit of bias there, maybe.
Maybe.
Here's Cichero. Jaden Onen, so sleek on his feet. Talk about a guy who has control of his center of gravity. That is Jaden Onen. A lot of communication here from Forward Madison. Cichero letting his vocals be heard. Pushing upfield. Avalis with the ball in the corner. And that will be a corner as it deflected off of Forward Madison. That behind that net you see is the Forward Flock. Mentioned him earlier, the dedicated fan club. Here for Madison's professional football team. From the corner, it's Adam Mann. The feed. A little long, and Forward sneaks a hair on it. Back into the box. Here's House once more. And out of bounds. Got an incoming substitution here. It'll be Mitch Osmond. Pretty well-known name around these parts.
Yes, he is.
He'll make his way onto the field in favor of Timmy Mell, who put together a brilliant 60 minutes.
Substitution for Forward Madison. Number 5, Timmy Mell.
Mell with it. Really nice contest.
Mitch Osmond.
Looks like a straightforward swap. Looks like Brotherson's going to stay central with Osmond.
Osmond in his second year at the helm, the captain of this Forward Madison squad. Here's Connerty. Thought he was pushed over. Even if he was, no whistle. Jaden Onen had it taken away. He'll get it back. Jacob Kroll showing off the footwork. There's Osmond with his first touch of the contest. Trying to sneak their way downfield and see if they can't bite one of those angles. And that really, Neil, has been the theme of the game. A solid performance from front to finish from Forward, but it's just that last third that they can't seem to get comfortable in.
Yeah, it is just that. We spoke to Coach Matt this morning. Sorry, was it this morning? Yesterday, whenever it was. And that was one of the things he has been working on. And that's something that if they can improve, then will be good for them in going forward, certainly within their league program.
Second round of the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup. Here at historic Breese Stevens Field. Get to this in a moment, but we talk about the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup being around for more than 100 years. we got to talk a little bit about some of the historic figures in maybe the early 1900s, more popular American sports that were playing right here at Breese Stevens Field. We'll get to those in a moment. Some really remarkable names. A lot of history here. A lot of history between these two clubs in terms of the great Peter Welk we talked about earlier. Forward, inching their way up the field.
And again, Andrew, doing a great job of just keeping the ball. And of course they lose it. Nope. Yeah, they keep the ball. Once they get the ball away from pressure, then that gives them opportunities. Again, the final pass in the final third, they just they need to make sure that gets through to the players that are making the runs.
That time it was Cicero trying to get it through to Jaden Onen unsuccessfully. Sam Brotherton. Brotherton finds Jaden Onen. Dances in the center circle and feeds to Robert Screen. Screen takes his time. Back out to Osmond. Here's Macias. Onen tried that touch pass. We've seen that really a lot from Jaden Onen tonight. They're not going to take any time here. A goal-scoring opportunity. On his way down and a nice touch. A header right to his goalie.
Again, great going over the top, going in behind the defence. But the recovery was good, and unfortunately he was on his own.
That was Nico Williams who subbed in to start the second half with that goal-scoring opportunity for Chicago House. '66th minute of action. Here's a chance for Ricardo Avalos. Snatched away from Mitch Osmond. He said, I don't know where you think you're going, but you're not going there.
A great tackle. That was a great tackle. And why it was good that that Madison were able to keep him.
Jaden Onen has tracked more ground than maybe anybody we've seen in this contest today. Onen, a guy too, you'll note, certainly score the ball well, did so early in this contest for the first goal of the game, but really nice with those touch passes as well, able to set up teammates, and he and Cheney are going to be menacing all year long.
They link up really, really well. That's it's a positive.
Nice chance there, but nothing going.
Yeah, it's a huge positive for forward Madison. As I say, I think it's just a matter of time. Once they get that final third sorted out, they'll certainly be a team to be challenging for that top 4, top 5.
And it's going to be a really different situation in this final 20 minutes of the contest than we've seen for Forward Madison so far this year, of course, being because their first 2 matches were draws, one 0-0, the other 1-1. In the final third of each of the first 2 games, we saw a lot of aggression offensively for Forward Madison. Not so necessary here in this contest, though.
I think now it's game management for them. They've got a good cushion with the 2-0 lead. So as long as they're wary of the ball going in behind the back 4 and are able to deal with that. I can't see that there's going to be too many chances for House to get back in the game.
Yeah, really, their only legitimate goal-scoring opportunities for Chicago House have been those through balls that each and every time that back line of defense for forward Madison is defended to perfection.
Yeah, I'm not sure we've mentioned Shipman's name, have we? I don't think he has a save to make.
Yeah, he hasn't needed to. He is getting his rest. Quick turnaround for forward Madison. Go back into league play this Saturday against Greenville Triumph SC. Of course, this not a league game, so it doesn't have as much weight on how you may come into this contest, but if you're Coach Matt, what are you kind of thinking in terms of you're up 2-0, you got 20 minutes left, you play again on Saturday? Is that part of the reason why you do the game management now and just try to keep the rest, or is it?
I think it's important that they don't pick up any injuries. I think the actual squad they have is smaller than they've had in the past, so they need to ensure that they keep everyone fit as much as they can, and certainly they don't want to.
And it looks like a Chicago House player, that would be A.R. Smith, the captain of this Chicago House team, is on the ground in pain. Looks like we've got some cards coming out.
There's a card for Cicero.
Cicero with...
Didn't see what happened, but...
I didn't catch it either. One of the things that it's hard to miss looking out onto this pitch right now is certainly the stature, the size, the kind of menacing demeanor of Mauro Cicero. Not somebody you want to see on the other side of the ball.
No, he's a big lad. Nope. Oh, and he's run his course.
He did get the card, and he'll sub out. Here's Derek Gephardt, subbing in for the first time in this game. Really, that three-headed monster, you could argue, of Onan. We talked about Onan and Cheney, but I'd add a third head to that monster with Gephardt on it. Those three really have the chance to be very special for this forward Madison team.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how they go for this last 19 minutes.
Gephardt, one of those four returners for forward Madison. In the 72nd minute of action, final game of the second round of the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup. Andrew Banser alongside Neil Cumming here at historic Breese Stevens Field. Chicago House AC with possession. Here's A.R. Smith. Florian Wador on the far side. Tries to feed it in the vicinity of where he wanted it, but a header ends that. Eric Connerty the boot. We do have one more substitution to announce, at least for forward Madison, another to come for Chicago House. We mentioned that entering into this game is Derek Gephardt. What we did not mention is Isidro Martinez coming into this contest. He'll come in favor of Andrew Wheeler-Aminu.
Substitution for Chicago House. John Alzate replaces David Helmazon.
Dancing forward in the corner. If you missed that other substitution, it is coming in for Chicago House. Newcomer we haven't seen quite to this point. It's John Alzate who enters the contest. And Jaden Onen taps the ball as we enter the 74th minute of action. 2-0 the score. Forward Madison on top. Forward Madison, some 14 minutes and change away from a trip to Chicago and a date with Chicago House. Make that Chicago Fire if they can beat Chicago House. Fire, of course, the MLS team, and we're working forward. Derek Gephardt just tips it right over his defender. That was Mowiecki.
And Andrew, as we said, they're forward now are seeing a lot more space. As they move the ball around, you'll see that the players have got much more time on the ball to be able to play.
It almost feels like...
And of course they give it away.
Yeah, naturally, and they've got a good opportunity here.
They scored.
And it finds the back of the net, and suddenly, Neil, we have a game. That's Adam Mann finding Twine. We've got a 2-1 contest.
And again, they were fine, Madison, just keeping possession. But one straight pass gives an opportunity, and Mann put it away. He's done very well.
I mean, with the spacing that we're seeing right now, I was just about to say it before that happened, but I was going to tag off your point and say it kind of seems like Forward Madison could have just kept passing it back and forth. Here's another look at that goal. And Mann with nothing but room.
Yeah, he's taking it really well.
2-1 the score. Isidro Martinez gives way.
So that will lead to an interesting last 15 minutes now. With it will give Chicago House just a little G up, and Madison just need to be aware of that and be careful about that.
Do you play it any more aggressively, or are you still a little bit more laid back if you are Forward Madison?
I think you make sure you keep possession of the ball. They're going to have a little bit of energy now, Chicago House, based on what just happened. And take no risks. The reality is you don't take risks, but you've got to keep the ball. If they keep giving it away, then there'll be another opportunity for House.
Yeah, to your point, it hasn't really been... Oh, wow! Don't know if you caught that, ladies and gentlemen, but a Forward Madison player... Oh my goodness, almost like in baseball when somebody tries to snag a foul ball. He fell right over that railing, and we haven't seen that head peek back up. Teammates attending to the down player, who I believe is Macias. Checked into the game not too long ago, did Macias. Here's some clapping from fans who are all intently watching, as I believe Macias just leapt back over that ledge. Maybe not. It's kind of hard to tell over there. We have no clue what's going on.
I think it was Onin that jumped back over. The trainer's still looking at him on the floor, so...
It's not something you see every day.
No.
And there it is. The head pops up.
There he is. He looks like he's fine.
Of course, the concern there, you don't want to fall on... I'm not certain what surface. That may still be turf right on the other side of that, actually.
I think it's still turf.
Yeah, so I think he'll be all right. Clock keeps rolling as we begin to enter that final 10 territory. Macias making sure he's all right. A.R. Smith. Mitch Osmond defending, turns the corner, and an opportunity for Chicago House, taken away by Forward Madison. For a moment there, he turns that corner. Your heart skips a beat a little.
That again, Madison giving the ball away. As soon as they do that, then Chicago are going to got the energy and the will now to try and get back into certainly to level the score.
Here's Adam Mann with the corner. Bending out. A header from forward. And Jack Kramer takes it outside the box. Here's Ricardo Avalos. Trying to work it inside. Tries to. Deflects off forward. And it'll be another corner.
It's important, Andrew, that forward defend these properly. Not just the first cross, but whatever happens after that second ball. That's how scored their goal in the last Open Cup game.
The corner on its way in. Couple of chances there, but couldn't get ahead on it. Good Chicago House. And here's Ricardo Avalos. Trying to work it back into that box, but forward Madison doing a good job to protect it.
But it's interesting, this is probably the most pressure they've been under in the game.
Absolutely. How much of that is that one goal that just flips the switch?
Makes a huge difference. Gives Chicago House a little belief in that they can get back into the game.
Jack Kramer will throw it in. Here's Kramer. Taken by Gebhardt. Flicked out of bounds. As Tino Vasquez comes off, the newcomer into the game for forward Madison. First time he's touched the turf this season. Number 18 for forward Madison, of course, coming in as Francis Baptiste. Beg your pardon, I should tell you. Francis John Baptiste would be the correct pronunciation for you. Here's Isidro Martinez with the ball for forward. Just a couple of minutes ago, Chicago House got on the board for the first time. It was all forward Madison, all for 75 minutes. They were really just kind of milking out the clock, and all of a sudden, Adam Mann stole a pass out of free lane and put one through the twine. A 2-1 score. Trying to push something ahead. Right back to their keeper. Substitution here. Oscar Dunkel will come into the game. Oscar Dunkel comes into the game for Jack Kramer. Kramer was a late addition to the starting lineup for Chicago House. Played the first 80 minutes. Forward scored one goal back in that first half. It was Jaden Onan that found the goal. Came out the gate swinging in the second as well, doubling that lead. But now a 2-1 game as forward Madison clings on. Really knocking on the door here in these last couple minutes comparatively have been Chicago House. Forward Madison the ball. Derek Gebhardt working his way forward. Gebhardt with the move. Circles back and finds Jacob Kroll. Martinez with the right, just missing wide left. A strike though nonetheless.
So yeah, forward need to just remain concentrated on what they're doing. If they don't make any mistakes, obviously, then that's going to be a benefit for them. And keeping the ball is a vital part of this now to manage this game out.
Of course, on the line here, a trip to play against an MLS level team, the Chicago Fire, awaiting the winner of this contest that has quickly become more competitive in these last few minutes. Isidro Martinez inside. That's an opportunity. Onan looking to find Gephardt, unable to. But here comes another one.
That was a great turn from Onan there on the edge of the box. Shame about his pass.
Onan always looking for that extra pass. And what nice touch he has, too. Osman working inside. Forward Madison retains possession. Final 6 minutes of regulation. Forward Madison trying to cling on to this lead. In the center circle, it's Sam Brotherton. Intercepted and pushed ahead. Forward Madison all over it to the keeper. Second round of the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup. Creeping into these last 5 minutes of regulation, if you had the chance and if you were either coach, what would you say to your squad?
So for forward, it is keep the ball, stop making mistakes. For Chicago House now, if you get a chance to get forward, then we get forward and we put as much pressure on the back three or back four of forward Madison and try and get that goal that will actually take it into extra time.
Of course, if we were to go, and we'll get to that in a moment, freshly off the bench, Francis Baptiste. If we were to go to extra time, it would not go right to PKs. We'd get a good chunk of time to try to settle this thing without PKs. Here's Jaden Onan dancing his way through the defense with the left, and it's deflected. Jaden Onan has just dazzled here today. If you are any single one of these many forward Madison fans that came out, I think there's a lot to be excited for this season.
I agree. I think some of the players that they've managed to bring into the club will be exciting to watch, definitely.
Taking a look at that forward flock once more. What a happy bunch we've got, and they'll be happier if these next few minutes of the game go the way they'd like. An injury down on the field. Chicago House player being tended to. Substitution here for Chicago House as they try to bolster their last couple of minutes. Subbing into the game, Gio Spasov will come in. Enters in favor of Aaron Nguyen. Spasov, go ahead.
You're starting to see the Chicago players now are putting a big shift. This is a big game for them. They've worked really, really hard, to be fair. And now you're starting to see some of them cramping up.
And these are the moments you train for. These are the moments you spend extra time at the gym for. These are the moments for an amateur club like Chicago House that you play for.
Yeah.
Forward Madison with the ball. Working upfield. Here's Jaden Onan. Nice pass. It gets through, but nobody there to receive it. Intended for Francis. 88 minutes have come, 88 minutes have gone. The score 2-1 Forward Madison. Expect to see a little bit more aggression here in these last few minutes. That'll start it. House with an opportunity. Taken away. One minute left of regulation, but we'll see 5 additional in added time. That'll leave about 6 minutes and some change for Chicago House to make their last laugh count. Derek Gephardt working the side. Inside, here's Macias. Macias gets it back. Here's the left. Nothing going.
So the last attack with Chicago House, because they're tired, they're not getting back as quickly as they would normally do, and there was 5 Chicago House players against 4 Forward Madison. That's where they have to make sure they're concentrating on what they're doing as far as defending is concerned, because they could get outnumbered.
And that's not a situation this late in the game you want to find yourself in if you're Forward Madison.
No, you do not.
Maybe the last situation you'd want to find yourself in. Pretty good situation, though, would be a corner coming your way. It looks like it'll be Macias doing the honors.
And
maybe not.
And again, they're trying to manage the game.
Beautiful tactical move there. And while we kind of debated whether we're going to see aggression or maybe a little bit more just trying to milk the clock, I think we just had that question answered.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, manage the game and don't let them back in.
A trio of headers leads to a boot high in the sky. 90 minutes have come, 90 minutes have exited the door here at historic Breese Stevens Field. We've got 5 more in store for you, though, as we enter the 5 minutes of added time. Hold on for 5 more minutes, and you get a date with the Chicago Fire. Throw in from Jacob Kroll. Eric Connerty last to touch it.
And it's good, Andrew, to hear the flock still singing. That's unreal.
My goodness. I mean, I think both of us are thinking our airwaves have been used well tonight. Those people, though, are the real deal. Pushing forward. Chicago House with an opportunity.
That's good.
And that'll find its way into the back of the net. That is a goal for Chicago House AC, who have stunned Forward Madison here in the final 15 minutes of this contest. It was in the 75th minute. Adam Mann scored, and now another to make it 2-2. Not at all what fans were expecting coming into this contest.
No, and again, just the lack of concentration at the back allowed the opportunity to come. And again, to be fair, they put it away very well.
Exactly, and to that point, as we watch it once more, that's AR.
2 players go for the same ball. Kind of want that to be clearer communication to make sure that they can get the ball cleared.
A.R. Smith, the captain, with the goal to tie us up at 2s. That's not the first time in this game, either offensively or defensively, Neil, we've seen multiple Forward Madison players go after that ball.
And again, you've got to bear in mind that they're a group that's just come together. And that communication thing is something that will get better as the months and weeks go on.
Jacob Kroll feeds it in. It goes out, and that'll be a corner.
They won't be keeping it in the corner now.
No shot. This one is headed for the twine if Forward Madison has anything to say about it. Here comes the corner. To Cedro Martinez. Good ball off the head, and it deflects. Back into the legs. of Chicago House. Now, if no clear winner is determined after 90 minutes, we will get 30 minutes of extra time to play. That'll be 2 15-minute extra time halves with stoppage time. Isidro Martinez trying to avoid all of that. Working their way up the field or forward. Here's a chance, and it's just wide. Jaden Onen had the opportunity, but it squeaked off the side of his cleat and missed the goal. The flock getting even louder. Keeping that spirit going here at Breese Stevens, where Chicago House has sucked the life out of this match. Didn't look like they had much of an opportunity. In fact, in the 74th minute, I remember saying to you, Neil, 2-0 seems like a pretty big mountain to climb, but they got right up it. And a push in the back here.
Yeah, credit to Chicago House. They've kept going. They haven't given up. And again, some errors by the Madison players has given them opportunities which they've taken.
Big boot here. Downfield, finding Baptiste. He weaves in and out of traffic. Finds Gephardt, who has an opportunity. Weaves in and out of the box, and that'll be a corner. And a big corner at that.
Yep, last chance.
It'll be Isidro Martinez doing the honors. Martinez. Just up there, and a beautiful save from Haltman, who came out of his position to swat it with his hands, and that will send us into extra time. A really defeated forward Madison squad in terms of body language. You see walking off the field right now, if you're Chicago House, you're playing with house money coming into this game nonetheless. Right now, you're feeling on top of the world.
Yeah, I think so. The fact that they've managed to get back into it, they'll be going into the extra time. They'll be buzzing. They'll be looking to try and get that winning goal. Matt Glazer and the team now have got to make sure that the forward players know that their ability should shine through, and make sure that they stop making the little errors that they've done that have given the other team the opportunity to get in. And they need to get that final third. They need to finish the chances that they get.
To your point, what we've seen in this last 15 minutes is 2 goals from Chicago House, both of them not coming out of set pieces, really just taking advantage of a forward Madison error and working your way upfield. That got us to a 2-2 score, which is where we sit right now. Early offense from forward Madison, one in the first 10 minutes of the game, adding another to open the second half. But in this final third of the contest, it has been all Chicago House. Again, flabbergasted is maybe not doing it service. This is a game that we thought, coming into it, at least on paper, would handily go in forward Madison's favor.
Yeah, they looked in charge of the game for the majority of it. And I say, the last 20 minutes or so, they just kind of lost the shape. There's been a number of substitutions which can disrupt what they're doing, and now they just need to get back into their principles, the way that they play the game, and make sure that they finish any chances that come.
We'll take just a quick break. We'll be right back in 30 seconds right here at historic Breese Stevens Field. Sounds good. I'm ready whenever now. Stevens Field. Andrew Banter alongside Neil Cumming. Pleased to have you here with us in Madison, Wisconsin, as we enter a territory we didn't really think we'd enter this evening, or even 20 minutes ago. 2 late goals from Chicago House give them the chance to play MLS's Chicago Fire in the next round of this Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup. Let's set the stage for this extra period. We'll have 2 of them, 2 15-minute halves. It is not golden goal, meaning that whoever is victorious or in the lead at the end of these 2 15-minute halves will be the winner. Should it be that we not have one at all, in that case, then we would go to penalty kicks. Pleased to have you with us. And certainly not the outcome or the stage in the game we thought we'd be in, but Neil, I gotta say this, even though I would have rather maybe seen the outcome end at this point, I'm not opposed to another 30 minutes of talking football.
It's cup football. That's exactly what it should be. The underdog coming back into a game. It's why we watch, it's why we play.
Feeling on top of the world right now, our Chicago House AC, who have stunned Forward Madison. Now, this game not over by any means, though. More than anything, if you're Forward Madison right now, you're not taking any more chances. You're putting the pedal to the metal and trying to get this thing done.
Yeah, without doubt, Andrew. They need to continue what they did for the first periods of the game. Get their passing going.
A strike downfield, nothing going. Here's Florian Wador. Working his way inside Nico Williams. The pass deflected. Here come the flock. If you're wondering where the... Get to that in a moment. Here's an opportunity for Jaden Onen, who gets a foot on it. Nearly escapes the field of play, but I believe grabbed just in time by the keeper. Forward Madison's kits are pink and inspired by the official bird of the city of Madison, which would be the plastic yard flamingo. Don't see too many real flamingos outside of this pitch when you're in Madison. We do have some other animals here, though. I believe there's a cow in attendance, the official mascot.
Yeah, over in the corner. Always here. And of course I can't see what the... Something Bessie.
Yeah, Leonella Bessie.
Leonella Bessie, there you go.
What a beautiful name that is. If you're Coach Matt Glazer here at all, you got to be wishing you still had Cheney out there on the pitch, but you trust the guys you have.
I think, yeah, you have to trust the guys you got, because you wouldn't put them out there otherwise. And it's important that they repay that trust now.
And maybe even take advantage, guys that might not see time.
Yeah, they need to show Coach Matt what they can do, and they've got the character to deal with the adversity, which is where they are at the moment.
You're listening to the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup second round, last game of it. Forward Madison playing host to Chicago House AC. A Tuesday night in Madison, Wisconsin. Pass offline and finds its way into that side. Two and a half minutes into extra time. You'll notice not a single fan has left. Why would they? We got a match to remember here in Madison. Isidro Martinez. Deflected out of bounds, last touched by Chicago House. Resetting the offense here are forward Madison. Here's Francis Batiste trying to push it forward. Jaden Onen with the rock. Working his way around the perimeter of the box. What a strike! And a save by the post first, and then a save by the keeper.
I'm not sure. I think he might push that onto the bar. I think that was double save. Excellent.
What a string there from Tony Haltman.
Yeah, did really well. Really well.
Both of those probably are goals more than they aren't in this competition. Here's a corner. Breaking out a little far. Heavy touch on the corner, and Chicago House gets the ball. Let's take another look at that goal-scoring opportunity.
So yeah, Onen does really well to recover the ball. Some good play in. I think he did touch it, yeah. And the second one was excellent. Excellent save, the second one.
That is goalkeeping at its finest. Here's Jaden Onen again, trying to use that blazing speed. Gephardt working the outside with the left, right into the corralled arms of Tony Haltman, who has proved to be a brick wall here in this extra time. 3 saves and 3 chances.
So forward Madison have definitely stepped up the pace a little bit now, and had to. If they want to progress to the next round, then they definitely had to pick up what they were doing.
Mitch Osmond heads it out of bounds, and suddenly things are getting real for forward Madison, who have an opportunity here in this last 25 minutes of extra time to put their stamp onto this game, and if they have their way, make it to the next round, which would be the 3rd round of this Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup. Awaiting them would be Chicago Fire. A fight in the corner. Goes Madison's way. Anything you'd like to see more of from forward Madison offensively in this extra time?
I think they just need to make sure they keep the ball, but when they get into that final third, just be more precise in what they're doing and move the ball quickly.
There was a chance. Good try by Jaden Onen, who couldn't sneak it past that defender. Robert Screen surveying the field. Reset the offense with Sam Brotherton. A 2-2 game here in extra time. Remember, we have 2 15-minute halves here in extra time, and it is not golden goal. No sudden death. Across, headed out of the way. Macias was the passer on that. He'll get it back. Macias dancing his way through the defense, but finds his way to the turf, and Chicago House gets the ball. House working past midfield. And a ball that can only be found by forward Madison. Of course, behind the net, you saw the Crossbar Restaurant, which is one of the best names in all of sports right here in the concession stands. But in addition to that, the Festival Foods Grill back there as well. Here's Jaden Onen. Macias up top. trying to find an angle to sneak their way in and take the lead here in this extra time. Our forward, Madison. Launching it ahead. Chicago able to get it out of the offensive end for the time being.
So, Andrew, I think we can probably expect the Chicago House team to start struggling physically now. Just the work they put in to get back into the game will take its toll. If forward can keep possession, then they'll get other opportunities to score. They just need to make sure they take them.
In terms of ambition and maybe grit we've seen in this game, that's come in waves a little bit. Chicago House came out really hot out of the gates, maybe too hot for their own good. Substitution here for Chicago House. Newcomer into the contest will be Alberto. Make that Alejandro Mentasti. Subbing out of the game, Ricardo Avalos. Forward Madison trying to push. Derek Gephardt dancing forward. Gephardt gets it to Martinez, who has it deflected out of bounds. It'll be forward Madison ball. About 5 minutes left of this first half of extra time. 2 15-minute halves here in extra time. Here's Robert Screen. Screen finds Jaden Onen. Make that Batiste. Screen into the box. Here's Jaden Onen. Just wide. What an opportunity. Took my breath away. Couldn't.
Again, they've got to take these opportunities. They're creating them in the final third. There's a number that they should have converted, and that was another one.
It's Isidro Martinez who had the goal-scoring opportunity, unable to complete. And that will bring an ear-to-ear grin for anybody rooting for Chicago House. I mean, I thought the month of March was over, where you expect all the upsets and you expect the March Madness. We have seen an upset in regulation here today in the last 15 minutes. Forward Madison, though, still certainly the favorite to finish this game. But that's why we play them.
They actually need to try and finish it in this extra time. The last thing they want to go is to the lottery of penalties. As exciting as that is, you don't want to go there unless you have to.
Couple more minutes of this first half of extra time separates us from 15 more, and then if no goals then or a tied game then, that would get us to those kicks. 100 minutes of football have elapsed. Almost 102. Robert Screen resets to the keeper. Forward Madison led 2-0 with 15 minutes remaining, and then in the 75th minute, Chicago House put up their first goal, added another in the late stages of regulation. Isidro Martinez slips it ahead to Batiste, who resets. Here's Batiste again. Nothing going. Here's Nico Williams working the left side. Williams making a run for it. Good defense by Osmond, who loses it for a second. That's a free ball. Beautiful defense by forward Madison. And that ball finds its way into the back of the net. The Chicago House AC have scored their third goal since the 75th minute of action in this contest. Now, still a lot of time to go if you're forward Madison, but we talked about being down one, that being a daunting task with 30 minutes left. It is go time now.
Again, errors in defense.
Here we got another look at it.
Chicago House goal in the 103rd minute.
And when that ball was free there, you knew something was awry. Looked to me that the defense adjusted to that free ball and it left a wide open.
Sometimes when you're defending, you need to make sure that you actually focus on clearing the ball rather than just trying to cleat it. I don't think Coach Matt's going to be very happy with that.
Even if Forward Madison was to come back and win this game, I think there'll be some soul searching going on within the squad. And I don't think there's any question it's within this Forward Madison team whatsoever to be a real competitor in league play this season. And a coach like Matt Glazer may just take this opportunity to make sure this never happens again. Try to finish this one out, though. Here's Jaden Onen. Eric Connerty pushing forward. Derek Gephardt on the side, working his way into the box, and it's headed out. Tried to get one on goal, unable to. And now the roles have reversed. If you're Chicago House, you're milking clock as much as you can.
The thing for Chicago is that they'll probably try and defend now as deep as they can.
We haven't seen that from them.
No, and that would just invite forward on. It's a case now of whether forward are going to be able to take a chance when it comes.
Might it be that we see a more prolific offensive team with more aggression here in this late stage? We have one more minute of added time in the first half of extra time. Isidro Martinez into Jaden Onen. Pushing forward. About 30 seconds left of added time. First half of extra time. We still got 15 minutes of regulation. Or I should say extra time regulation to go. Roughly 17 minutes on the clock. Right now, Chicago House has pulled up a seat to the table, awaiting Chicago Fire of the MLS. Forward Madison had that seat warm for a while in this game. Across into the box, the header no good. And that'll run its course for the first half of extra time here at historic Breese Stevens Field. You know, Neil, it was just more of what we saw in that last 15 minutes of regulation time in that first half of extra time.
Yeah, absolutely. When they came out for the extra time, certainly Chicago House still had that same energy that they were showing in the last 20 minutes, certainly after they scored the goals. Madison, again, keep the ball, but just individual errors have just let the Chicago House get back into this.
It seems in some ways, too, as though, you know, in those early 70 minutes when Forward Madison was just controlling the ball almost to a stranglehold, something flipped there where Forward Madison isn't getting those same passing lanes that they were earlier in the game, and it appears as though, whether it be just that second wind or whatever, that fatigue we saw entering that final third of regulation has seemed to have subsided for Chicago House. Could that play a factor here, though?
For Chicago House in this second period?
Yeah, do you think their fatigue could maybe play a factor?
Maybe. I think it's again a case for Forward Madison to move the ball, move it quickly, get into the middle third, create some movement up front to give them the channels to pass into, and again finishing their opportunities.
If you're Coach Matt Glazer here, your team knows what they need to do as a whole. They understand what they're doing wrong. What is it, though, that you say to your team going into this final?
He just needs to reaffirm that they need to keep doing the right things. He needs to make sure they've got the energy to go. He'll tell the team that they're the professionals. They're the ones that should be able to last the full distance, and that Chicago House are not full-time players, and so that should be the impetus for them to keep playing, keep moving the ball, get the opportunities, and again take that when it comes.
When it was 2-0, Forward was understandably comfortable. 2-1, maybe a little bit less so, but then 2-2, you were expecting that flip to switch, still didn't quite see it. In the first half of extra time, you didn't see it. I think now you'll see that outright aggression where Forward Madison tries to show their dominance.
And to be fair, Andrew, they've got to.
No question about it. Here's a nice chance. Gephardt gets it in front of the net. Nothing going. A nice clear from Chicago House. Good opportunity out of the gates as we enter this final half of extra time. 90 minutes could not contain this match. Sent us into 30 more of extra time. Here's Robert Screen fighting for the ball. Out of bounds, last touch by House. Screen trying to find an alley and does. Here's Batiste. Isidro Martinez. Skies ahead. Nice feed for Batiste, who double clutches. Sends one towards the net, nowhere near the twine.
Looks like it got a deflection, Andrew. The referees indicate the corner. So
it looked very uncomfortable off the foot, almost as if there was no way it wasn't a deflection. I was trying to figure out what happened in the result. The end result is an Isidro Martinez corner kick. Here it comes. Nice chance at a header, but they can't. Here's Onan, fighting for possession and wins. Reset the offense. Macias finds Gephardt. Gephardt trying to get past his competition. That's Oscar Dunkel. And now a whistle. Chicago House player finds the turf in pain. And if fatigue is an issue, that'll buy them another moment. The athletic trainer immediately being called upon. He's been busy this evening.
He has. I think he'll be busy in this last 15 minutes as well, Andrew.
He's certainly getting his cardio in today. We're getting in cardio today, but more just with our mouths as opposed to our legs, which is all right. 3-2 the score. Chicago House leading Forward Madison in a stunner. The second half of our 30-minute extra time. 15 minutes in each of those halves. Forward Madison scored a goal in the first 10 minutes of this game. That was Jaden Onan. Added another right at the start of the second half. Things look pretty good for Forward Madison. In the 75th minute, it was Chicago House getting their first goal from Adam Mann. Added another in the late going to tie things up. Suddenly, in extra time, they added a third. 3-2 the score. That's how we got to this point. The real question is, how will we exit this building? Isidro Martinez working the center circle. Here's Robert Screen heading it inbounds. Screen pokes forward. And a nice move by Wador to avoid the corner. Here's Batiste. He's been a focal point of this offense in the late going. Early early in the game, it was Cheney that was demanding the defense's attention. They were doubling him in the first half. He exited as the second half began. Opened some things up. Trying to push it forward. Here's Derek Gebhardt. Gebhardt gets a foot on it. It's one-on-one. He and Oscar Dunkel. Dunkel tackles him. Just took the legs right out from underneath Derek Gebhardt. And here comes Isidro Martinez. Trying to pull off a corner. Martinez. A nice opportunity. Jacob Kroll had a header, but couldn't get a hair on it. Sam Brotherton double teamed in the corner, but finds room. Pushing the pace are Chicago House. The fresh legs of Oscar Dunkel, who checked in extra time. About 10 more minutes of extra time. If we are tied at the end, we'll get extra kicks. Chicago House wants to avoid that. Isidro Martinez. Stephen Payne checking into the game for forward Madison. Payne has not touched the turf to this point. Number 22. Eric Connerty checks out of the game after more than 110 minutes of action. Here is Payne. Francis Baptiste working the line. Showing off the dance moves. Everything in this second half of extra time has been constrained to forward Madison's half of the field. On offense. Nice chance here, but it stopped as he was offside. 112th minute of action. 120 would be the end of extra time, but we're going to get at least a couple extra minutes after that injury timeout earlier. The forward flock trying to will their forward Madison to a comeback victory. Not a position they thought they'd find themselves in. Chicago House doing everything they can to cling on to this improbable win. A whistle stops play. Now's the time, if there was ever one, if you're forward Madison, to leave it all out. Find the back of the twine and you're sitting pretty. Pushing forward. Nice chance here for Jaden Onen. A little high up on the body. The keeper left the line. Onen had a chance, but no dice.
Yeah, another one that's like, the chances are going to come, they just got to make sure they put them away. Especially now, Chicago are exhausted. They've put in an awesome shift to get to where they are now. And as soon as Madison get the ball, they're just dropping in and defending.
You look back at a couple of first half goal scoring opportunities that seemed to be foregone conclusions that did not find the back of the net for forward Madison. Those hurt a little bit more now. Still soccer to be played. Stephen Payne tries to dish one in. He'll get a corner. Beg your pardon. Nice attempt here from Isidro Martinez. The header gets it back into the box. Playing volley here and playing it safe. Our Chicago house just getting it out of bounds. John Alzalti with the header to exit play. Here's the corner. Isidro Martinez. Good positioning. The header deflected. What a goal opportunity there for forward Madison. Had it right where they wanted it, but really good defense. Another chance here for forward Madison, who continue to bang on the door of Chicago house, but just can't break that stranglehold.
No, still can't get that goal, that final end product of what they're doing.
It's almost right now for forward Madison kind of like that house project you never finish. You get 80% of the way there, and then it just never finishes, right? I mean, you're getting to the spots where you want to be. You're putting the ball where it needs to be. There's just been too many times so far in this match. You haven't done that last 20% of the project.
Yep.
And we all know how that happens. It happens to the best of us. Here's screen. House clearing it out. And a big shove from Sam Brotherton, asserting his dominance. Nice tackle. Pushing forward. Here's a chance. It's Macias working the left side. Here's Gephardt. Nice shot. Nothing going. Last touch by Gephardt. 4 minutes of extra time left. We'll probably get something more like 7. But it has been a while since forward Madison scored. Nearly 60 minutes of play have elapsed. Derek Gephardt pushing forward. Here's Robert's screen. Kroll with the left, working inside but stopped. Into the 100 and nearly 18th minute. Robert's screen. Trying to use that speed to turn the corner. Here's the left. Good cross, but cleared. Forward Madison on the ropes. A date with Chicago Fire awaits the winner. A dramatic comeback staged by Chicago House. To forward Madison have one left in them. Here's Gephardt. Jacob Kroll works it inside into the box and headed out once more. Really a brilliant job at just that here in this late going. Martinez with the touch pass, offline. Both sides, Neil, fighting and clawing in these last minutes.
It's just totally in one half now. All of the players except for a forwards goalkeeper.
Baptiste tries to get something into the box, and the header is just offline. If you're forward Madison, I don't think you knew if you'd have another opportunity like that. It was Baptiste, actually, that was the recipient of that pass. The header offline. Tony Haltman, the keeper. The boot finds the center circle. Sounds like we're getting 2 minutes of added time. That leaves 3 full minutes left in this contest. As we creep into the 120th minute. Takes more than 2 hours of full play to decide the winner. The way it should be. Nice cross. Forward Madison making a plea here. From this angle, it looked like they have a fair gripe. What'd you see, Neil?
That's difficult to tell from the angle we've got. Hopefully, if we get a chance to see a replay, we may maybe get an idea. But there's certainly enough people shouting for a handball.
We have nearly found our way through 120 minutes. Again, we'll get 2 minutes of added time. Here's a chance for Chicago House. Two minutes to go here for forward Madison. Everything on the line here in this Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup. Stephen Payne. He dances, makes the edge, gets into the box. Here's Robert Screen with the turn and just wide left. Take another look at that. Now that is the controversial play
There's
from
lots
earlier.
of appeals, but again, we can really see from here.
Just over a minute left in this contest. Jacob Kroll. Here's Macias. 60 seconds remaining. Does forward Madison have what it takes to pull this off? Isidro Martinez turns the corner, gets it into the box. Headed out. Jacob Kroll finds the foot. Clears it back out. The clock is ticking for forward Madison. Here's Robert Screen. Gets it in. Another really nice chance. Couldn't get the header on it. Mitch Osmond with the chance. Here's Onan. Another chance. Cleared out by House. Forward with seconds remaining. Here's Martinez. Gets into the box. Headed out. And that might just do it. Seconds remaining for forward Madison. Cleared once more. And that will do it. The improbable has happened here at historic Breese Stevens Field, as you see each and every one of the Chicago House AC players, no, not celebrating, but falling to the ground in fatigue in what could be described as one of the more improbable upsets so far in this Open Cup.
Without a doubt, Andrew, I mean, there's no way that Forward would have imagined not winning the game. And credit to Chicago House, they put everything on the line. The last 10 minutes, they were putting their head, putting their feet to everything to clear it.
A brilliant game of football, 3-2 the final score in final time. It took us quite a while to get there, running back through how we got there. Forward Madison struck early in the first 10 minutes. It was Jaden Onan finding the back of the twine. No scores for the rest of the half, but the second half was where we saw a majority of our goal scoring today. It started with forward Madison, and then really all you can say is something changed there in that 70-minute time frame.
Chicago House kept going, and basically took advantage of an error. And if you make errors, and with any team, they're going to get an opportunity to score. And to be fair, House had 3 of those and took them.
And really at the end there, Forward Madison set themselves up well a couple of times for goal scoring opportunities that couldn't come to fruition. Now, looking at the opposite side of this, league play is not affected by this game at all. Speaking of, forward Madison is back on the pitch in a couple of days, April 15th, this Saturday, here at home, hosting Greenville Triumph. If you're Coach Matt Glazer, what are you saying to your team that you can improve and to take away in terms of positives from this game?
So I think possession of the ball, they were really good at keeping that possession, certainly for the first 70 minutes. Cutting out the errors. They need to cut the errors out. But as he knows, the final third is where you win and lose games. And if you don't take the opportunities when they come, and the other team does, then unfortunately the result is that the other team will win the game.
In a really valiant effort tonight, let's wrap up by talking about Chicago House. What did they do so well towards the end of that game to create their own offense and to find themselves in positions where they can take advantage of those errors?
So they had a game plan to try and get the ball in behind forwards, which they executed to the best that they can. The finishing was clinical from them. If they had a chance, they didn't have many chances in the game, but when they did, they took them. Madison had a number of chances, as we talked about, and didn't manage to finish it off. Congratulations to House. Madison, get back into their league play and focus on that. But they should be disappointed with the end result of this, and you can see that Chicago House are delighted.
Not the outcome that forward Madison was looking for coming into this contest, but certainly leaves things on the table to improve going forward. That's how we'll sign off in this contest. Final score after extra time, 3-2. Chicago House AC with the come-from-behind victory. For Neil Cumming and our producer Mitch, we want to thank you so much for spending this evening with us here at historic Breese Stevens Field in a final in this second round of the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup. Final score, 3 for Chicago House AC, 2 for forward Madison. Again, for Mitch and for Neil, I'm Andrew Banstra, signing off on this contest and thanking you so much for listening. And as always, let's go Flock.